The movie opens with a prologue describing a fantastical cloudland, a place between heaven and earth where people reside until they are forgotten, after which they ascend to heaven. Mommy Penguin, perpetually weeping as she gazes upon earth, secretly boards the raindrop train a year later to visit her son. They share hugs and playtime, but as the rainy season ends, she must catch the last raindrop to return to Cloudland. Mother Penguin bids her son farewell, no longer crying as she watches his life unfold on Earth. This story is being read by Jung Ji-ho from a book made for him by his now-deceased mother, Soo-ah. Hiding from her funeral, he overhears relatives attribute her weakness to the pregnancy. Ji-ho looks at his mother's picture and promises to see her again. A year later, Jung Woo-jin struggles as a single dad. Their house is a mess, and he's not a great cook. He wakes early to clean the pool where he works, then returns home to make breakfast and help Ji-ho, whom he finds sleeping in his mom's wardrobe, get ready for school. Every morning, Woo-jin takes his medicine, and Ji-ho eagerly watches the forecast, waiting for the rainy season. Woo-jin bicycles Ji-ho to school, unable to ride fast due to his health. At work, his co-worker constantly watches him and brings him coffee, making their boss, swimming instructor Choi, jealous. After school, Ji-ho goes to Honggu's bakery. Honggu, Woo-jin's best friend, is like an uncle to him. Today, Ji-ho is upset because his dad can't run, and school has an upcoming relay race where students team with their dads. Honggu quickly offers to race instead, for which Woo-jin thanks him when he picks up Ji-ho after work. On race day, as Woo-jin prepares to leave the pool, Choi stops him and asks him to change light bulbs. Meanwhile, at school, Ji-ho is told he can't race because Honggu isn't his father. As Ji-ho prepares to return their t-shirts, Woo-jin arrives and says he'll race, thinking he can just jog. Ji-ho performs well in his half, but as he passes the baton to his dad, he looks sad, knowing they won't win. Woo-jin then runs seriously instead of jogging. He starts well but passes out just before the finish line. Later, after he recovers and they return home, Ji-ho makes Woo-jin promise he'll never leave him. He also wants to hang blankets outside, as Honggu said it would make it rain. The next morning, they wake to discover it's raining, and Ji-ho rushes to the train station. Woo-jin follows him, but of course, there's no one there. He picks up Ji-ho and tries to take him home despite his protests. As they cross the tunnel, they see a silhouette. Woo-jin is cautious, but Ji-ho fearlessly runs toward the person, who is indeed Soo-ah. Ji-ho is ecstatic, but Woo-jin is scared, thinking she might be a ghost. In reality, she's back but suffers from amnesia and doesn't remember them. They take her home, where Ji-ho shows her a family picture to prove her identity and a welcome drawing he made. This makes Woo-jin nervous, so he takes Ji-ho to the bathroom to talk privately. He believes they shouldn't tell Soo-ah she was dead, as it could be too traumatic, and it shouldn't be hard to lie since they haven't thrown away any of her things. But when they come out, Soo-ah asks many questions. She doesn't understand why she's being welcomed if she lives there, and how the house got so dirty. Woo-jin and Ji-ho quickly concoct a lie. They tell her she was in the hospital and released yesterday. Today, they went for a walk, and while playing hide-and-seek, she was hit by a rock, causing her to pass out in the tunnel and lose her memory. The following morning, breakfast is easier with Soo-ah's help. Woo-jin drops Ji-ho at school, but as soon as he leaves, Ji-ho runs back home to spend the day with his mother. Soo-ah goes through her belongings, finds a key and her wedding ring, and hides them when Ji-ho shows up, claiming his teacher was absent. They spend the day playing various games, and Ji-ho is surprised by his mom's strength. She's much healthier now. At dinner, Ji-ho refuses to eat, wanting his mom's cooking, not his dad's. Woo-jin thinks she should rest, but Soo-ah tries anyway. Sadly, she's out of practice and can't get the sauce right. When food she's frying in hot oil pops from the pan, Woo-jin shields her, getting burned himself. After putting Ji-ho to bed, Soo-ah showers. Woo-jin uses the chance to take his medicine secretly. Afterward, Soo-ah offers to put cream on Woo-jin's back burns and asks him to tell her their relationship story. They met in high school, sharing a class. Soo-ah was the top student, while Woo-jin focused on the swimming club, often sleeping in class. One day, during swimming class, he properly met her when he saved her from drowning, developing a crush. Hong-gu, noticing his friend's feelings, gave Woo-jin tips. He tried starting a conversation by asking for a pen, but she cut him short. Later, in dance class, their teacher noticed Woo-jin's poor dancing and paired him with Soo-ah, who was also bad. Woo-jin was so distracted by their closeness that he accidentally stepped on her foot, and when he bent to clean it, he head-butted her nose. Soo-ah bled and left the gym upset. They didn't talk again until the last day of school, when Soo-ah asked Hong-gu to sign her yearbook. Since Woo-jin was there, she invited him to sign too. Woo-jin signed, and when Soo-ah took her yearbook, she accidentally took his pen, which Woo-jin shows her in the present. Afterward, Woo-jin went to a nearby college for swimming, and Soo-ah moved to Seoul for university. Woo-jin tried calling her during their first summer break, but each time she picked up, he'd get nervous and hang up. Then he was called for army duty, preventing contact for 2 more years. When he returned, he tried calling again, and this time, Hong-gu prevented him from hanging up. Instead of asking her on a proper date, Woo-jin told her he needed his pen back, so they agreed to meet in front of their old school. When they finally saw each other, they were awkward. Soo-ah gave him the pen and left. Seeing her leave was the final push Woo-jin needed to ask her out, and they went to dinner. Their conversation was initially awkward there too, but they eventually found common ground, and the evening went smoothly. Afterward, they waited for their buses, neither wanting to leave, until the last bus passed, and Soo-ah had no choice but to depart, reminding Woo-jin she wouldn't be back until winter break. After a moment, Woo-jin ran after her bus, got inside, and asked if he could write her letters while she was in Seoul, which she accepted. Back in the present, it's late, so they go to bed, and Woo-jin promises to finish the story another day. The next morning, at school, Ji-ho hears a classmate say it rains every time his dad washes the car. Meanwhile, Soo-ah explores the shack in the garden. Opening it with the key she found upon arrival, she discovers it's her old crafting space. After work, Woo-jin visits Hong-gu, who called him urgently. He notices Hong-gu trying to set him up on a blind date. Woo-jin tries to sneak away, but Hong-gu catches him and guesses he's already seeing someone, even suggesting he not use the excuse that Soo-ah is back. This hits too close to home, and Woo-jin runs away. Later that night, Hong-gu, dressed as a penguin, surprises Ji-ho. Woo-jin tries to kick him out before Soo-ah sees him, but Hong-gu sneaks in through another door and sees Soo-ah. Thinking she's a ghost, he flees, promising never to set Woo-jin up on blind dates again. Afterward, Soo-ah asks Woo-jin for the rest of their story. Woo-jin did right to her, and the next time they met, they went to the movies. He tried to hold her hand but mistakenly grabbed a guy's foot. Later, waiting for the bus, Soo-ah daringly put her hand in Woo-jin's jacket pocket. Woo-jin quickly followed suit, holding her hand inside his pocket. Back in the present, the couple repeats the same act while Ji-ho talks in his sleep. Sometime later, Woo-jin takes Soo-ah to the top of a hill, where they have a picnic, listen to the radio, and watch a movie from a nearby drive-in theater using binoculars. She becomes so engrossed that Woo-jin takes the chance to kiss her, and they finally kiss in the rain. Days pass, and Soo-ah settles into a routine. She plays with Ji-ho, keeps the house clean, and cooks for her family. She finds the penguin book but doesn't think much of it. When she sees Ji-ho collecting 4-leaf clovers to wish for more rain, she secretly adds some of her own, which he and Woo-jin notice. One day, the family enjoys an afternoon at the river, and Woo-jin carries them both home. He reaches the house but passes out as he steps inside. He wakes moments later in bed with Soo-ah beside him, demanding an explanation. Woo-jin decides to tell her by continuing their story. It all started after their third date, when Soo-ah gave him a clover charm for good luck on his national tryouts. He trained extra hard not to disappoint her, but one day during practice, he passed out in the middle of the pool. Doctors said he had a brain problem controlling hormones, causing him to faint when nervous or strained. He had to quit the swimming team and lost hope of a normal life, so he broke up with Soo-ah without telling her about his illness. A year passed, and he still couldn't get over her, so he traveled to Seoul to see her one last time. But when he arrived at her university, he saw her getting into a car with another man, so he left without talking to her, dropping the clover charm. He didn't try to contact her again, but months later, he He received a phone call and couldn't take it anymore. He went to the train station and received Soo-ah with a hug, listening to her say they were meant to be. Shortly afterward, he proposed, and she accepted, ignoring her family's disapproval of her dropping her studies to become a housewife. After the story is finally over, the couple falls asleep cuddling. The next day, Ji-ho tells his parents he'll be singing with the choir for the school concert and invites Soo-ah. At school, Ji-ho practices the song with his class, where they share their dreams. Since he's the fastest runner, his dream is to be a professional Olympian. Meanwhile, Soo-ah finds her old diary and learns the truth of what happened to her, but she doesn't tell the family. Instead, she starts teaching Ji-ho chores, how to wash himself, and basic cooking, so he can help his dad. Woo-jin also has plans. He and Honggu have been covering the train tunnel with wood, hoping to prevent her return to Cloudland. Rainy season is about to end, and everyone's mood isn't great. One day at work, Woo-jin gets a call from the mother of one of Ji-ho's classmates. She caught Ji-ho washing her car, but Ji-ho refuses to say why. Woo-jin apologizes, worried when the mother says Ji-ho needs therapy because obviously not having his mother is causing emotional issues. On their way home, Ji-ho finally confesses he washed the car because his classmates said it would make it rain and his mother would stay longer. The next day, Woo-jin is devastated to find the wind has blown all the wood away from the tunnel. Meanwhile, Soo-ah visits Honggu to ask for a long-term favor. She returns home hours later with a cake, and the family celebrates Ji-ho's birthday. Later, watching the rain with her husband, Soo-ah mentions she hopes Ji-ho grows to be as handsome as his dad before kissing and hugging Woo-jin while crying. The day of the concert finally arrives, but Woo-jin is stuck at work again. Choi gets hurt by a falling lamp, and Woo-jin jumps into the water to save him, thinking it might have been his fault for fixing it in a hurry last time. The concert begins, and Ji-ho refuses to sing because his parents aren't there. When it's his turn to state his dream, like the other kids did, he stays silent. At that moment, Soo-ah finally enters the theater, having given up waiting for Woo-jin. When Ji-ho sees her, he starts talking, mentioning he's a good runner but also detailing all the housekeeping things his mom taught him, ending his dream by saying he'll become a good caretaker for his dad. After the concert, the sun comes out, and Soo-ah realizes she must hurry before the last raindrop disappears. She starts making her way to the station as Ji-ho also sees the sun at school and Woo-jin sees it when he wakes up in an ambulance. Both of them run toward the station. Ji-ho gets there first and hugs Soo-ah, asking her not to leave him and apologizing for being the reason she died, as her relatives blamed the pregnancy. Crying, Soo-ah tells him it isn't his fault and she wouldn't have been happier if she had lived a longer life without him. Meanwhile, Woo-jin struggles to reach the station. First, a truck pushes him off the street, and he loses his bicycle, so he has to run. But he soon feels sick and falls to the ground, remembering the full conversation they had the evening they watched the rain together. He had apologized for not making her happy, but Soo-ah said he did and that she wanted him to keep living for Ji-ho's sake. Finding strength in this memory, Woo-jin stands up and continues running, making it to the station just in time to see Soo-ah disappear into the tunnel with a clover in her hand. Life becomes easier for them now that Ji-ho is helping around the house. The reduced stress even allows Woo-jin to ride his bike faster and be a swimming instructor at the pool. One evening, after taking his medicine, he finds a key and a note from Soo-ah at the bottom of the bag, telling him to go to the shack and read her diary. This is how he discovers her version of the story, which is quite different from his perspective. Soo-ah had already seen Woo-jin on the street before they met at school and had developed a crush on him then. She was too nervous to talk to him, especially after she embarrassed herself when he saw her drown. This anxiety caused her to be cold when he asked for the pen and made her flee the dancing class, even though she danced badly on purpose to be paired with him. Asking Honggu first to sign her yearbook had also been a strategy to talk to Woo-jin. She kept the pen as a memory of him and tried to call him many times in college, but she was never brave enough. In the end, Woo-jin called her first. During their first date, anxiety returned when she thought he only wanted the pen, but thankfully, Woo-jin took the initiative again. Then the breakup happened, but she could never forget him. That day at university, she got into a classmate's car, but quickly got out when she noticed Woo-jin waiting for her. She went after him, picking up the clover charm on the way, but when she crossed the street, she was hit by a van. She fell unconscious and woke up in the tunnel, having jumped 8 years into the future. She didn't have her memory of their life together, but she got to fall in love with him all over again and loved every minute they spent together. When she went back into the tunnel, she returned to the past and woke up at the hospital after 6 weeks in a coma. She was scared about the future she saw, not wanting to die so young, but she knew if she chose another life, she wouldn't be as happy. That was why she called him to meet again, and that day at the station, telling him they were meant to be. 10 years later, Woo-jin puts the diary in a box to gift to Ji-ho on his birthday. Hong-gu is there with a cake and a card Soo-ah left him, the favor she asked for all those years ago. She left a card for every birthday until the 20th, which is today. Ji-ho is going on a date but promises Woo-jin he won't be back late so he can make dinner for his dad. And that's where the story ends. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more recaps like this. See you next time.